I know you're leaving tonight, so just where are you at in your progression? How you feeling heading to, I believe, Arizona for exhibitions?
Feeling good. Yeah, it was nice to get out there today for 4 more ups. But yeah, I feel like I was trying to treat it as game-like as possible and just kind of mixing the pitches, trying to get ahead in counts, using everything. So it was nice to to get through 4 there and just feel the game again.
How do you go from pitching in a spring training atmosphere where it's not exactly, the most intense to ramping up almost immediately for game action in a tournament like the WBC?
Yeah, I mean, I feel ready. I think it's one of those things where you do it once or twice and you kind of feel the speed and, it feels like, it feels natural again. So, I think, even to get to this point in spring training, I mean, people are out there competing, once you get a couple weeks in. So, I mean, every game, you're facing big leaguers, the lineups are getting tougher. So, I think whether, you're in spring training facing, big league lineup or, going to face, another team, for the WBC, I think you're trying to get outs and you're doing it the best you can. So, I'm excited to be able to start pitching out for, Team USA and see where that takes us.
Just what are you looking forward to the most with the WBC?
Man, I think, just being on a team, full of guys that, just the experience, the stuff, kind of what they bring to the game. It's going to be special, I think, just to be around them, to learn from them, just to, see guys, play. People of that caliber, when you watch them play, they just play the game a little bit differently than the rest, and to have a team full of those guys, it's going to be it's like watching an all-star team. So, I'm glad to, for one, have them behind me, but just be able to sit there and take it in and just watch these games.
And I think you said you were tinkering a little bit with the cutter. It looked like you were using it a little bit more today, a little bit more to right-handers, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just how do you plan to use that during the season, and how'd that pitch feel?
Yeah, it felt good. Use it some more to righties today. I think, like I said, a pitch that can kind of bridge the gap and get me back in some, better counts. I try to use it early. I had a strikeout with it. So I think just a pitch that, as long as I can keep it hard, keep it going to glove side a little bit, I think it can serve a purpose to both righties and lefties. So it's nice just to be able to throw it some more today. And just get some more feedback on it.
How exactly, because I know you didn't throw it a whole lot. I think you threw it earlier in your career. How much did it change, or how much has it changed this time around?
Yeah, early in the career, it was definitely I started throwing the gyro slider, cutter / pitch, when I was a starter in the minor leagues, and it started off as a pitch around, something around 90 miles an hour. Over the years, it's become more of a gyro kind of down slider type pitch. I think for me, as a sinker baller, I need something that's hard and kind of stays on line. Whether I get a ton of vert on it or not, I really need it to kind of stay as close to zero line, glove line as possible. And the main thing is be hard. And it kind of was just slower and slower over the years. And so now, I'm thinking more cutter, trying to throw cutter. But it's nice to see the velo up a little bit on it this year. And, I think as long as, like I said, the velo's up and it has a little bit of glove side movement, it can really pair well with the sinker.
Clay, Nolan said earlier you've been kind of a mentor to him, and he was excited to be able to go and share this WBC experience with you. What do you think it's going to be like for him, given his age and his experience, to be in that kind of clubhouse? You've been teammates with some of these guys before, and you know a lot of them. What do you think it's going to be like for him at his age to walk into there and be part of that team?
Yeah. It's cool to see, Nolan's excitement. Obviously the way he's handled himself, last year coming up, but, first chance of, making an open day roster. He's on the, USA team. He's got a lot of just new things ahead of him, which is cool to see, as a teammate, a guy coming up and getting to experience these things. Part of it, you want to be there with him because, for one, how hard the game is, but to see somebody experience, some of the stuff is just, it's just as exciting, for me, I'm sure, as it is him. So, he's a guy that, his potential is, through the roof, and to him to get some confidence from it and be around some guys that are the best in the game and know that he belongs, I think it's going to be a special experience for him because, I mean, he does. I mean, he's got all the makings to be, you know, one of the best pitchers in the game, and you know, just excited for this journey for him, and you know, glad to be teammates with him on Team USA.
Is there one player on Team USA that you're particularly excited to share a clubhouse with?
Yeah, that's a tough question.
I'll take out your former teammates so you don't have to make Aaron mad.
Yeah, I mean, pitching side, obviously, I've seen what Kershaw's done over the game for, you know, a long time, and I mean, just to have, you know, him around and him wanting to do this and be on the same team as him will be pretty cool. And him, you know, have the desire to kind of still want to, you know, pick up the ball again and be on his team, and I think it's gonna be a special thing, you know. And I think he brings a lot. He's done a lot, have a lot of experience, and so it'd be cool to kind of share a locker room with him.
Last year, when you were making the transition, sometimes you pitched on regular rest, sometimes you had an extra day. Do you have a preference this year? You know, obviously Kodai sometimes needs that extra day rest. Have you figured out what works best for you, or are you still kind of curious for your own workload, how you like to work going forward?
Yeah, I mean, last year I would say it was nice having some of both. You know, I had, you know, a lot of 6 days, but I had some, you know, regular rest 5 days in there. That nice to have some rest at times, but it was nice to fill a 5 day because, like I said, that's regular rest. And so I do think, you know, having the experience of both last year really taught me just how to navigate them and what it feels like. And, you know, at the end of the day, I try to keep things as the same, as much the same as I can through both, you know, and you just have an extra day on the back end. And, you know, I found that kind of that sweet spot of the things I could do within my routine that, you know, I need to pitch on the 5th day, I feel great. If I have an extra day, you know, maybe I can get some extra work in the bullpen or whatnot. But, yeah, I think for me, I found that keeping things as simple and the same as possible, whether you're on both. And if you do have an extra day, maybe you can add a few more pitches in the bullpen. But, you know, I don't think I'll treat either one of them much differently, you know, going this year.
I've been talking to Robert Stock a little bit about some of the stuff that he was doing in terms of pitching analytics. I know that's something that you're interested in as well. Just from the pitching perspective, where do you think is the value of players kind of taking the driver's seat into finding their information and seeing how it can help them?
Yeah, I think I mean, at the end of the day, I think every player, you have people around you that can help you, that's willing to help you, that's willing to pour into you. But until you really kind of grab it and take ownership of it and have that curiosity to find what's, you know, out there and how you can get better, it's hard to really move the needle. You know, you can have people around you that can push you all along, but if you're not willing to kind of take it and believe in it, and you kind of see that, you know, especially with Stock, it's cool to hear, you know, just the joy, the excitement he gets from digging into those things and playing around with AI and all those things. So I think as a player, I mean, you have to be, you know, curious about the game. You have to be open to things. You know, there's always, you know, there's principles of the game that's always going to be there, but there's new ways to go about them. You know, there's new technologies, there's new tools, there's new things you can learn. And, you know, myself, I've always been one of those guys that have been very curious about the game, and I think that's, you know, what's pushed me along. And so, you know, see guys like Stock, it's cool just to connect and hear about it. And I think that love and joy that it brings is it's infectious. You know, it pushes other people too.
What impressed you most about what Clay was able to do today?
Yeah, he kept the ball in the ground. He got a lot of ground balls today, and that's a good sign coming from Clay. And the way he used all of his pitches today, especially that cutter, the changeup was good, and he's getting feel for the curveball as well. So yes, I think overall the way he was using all of his pitches today, and he attacked the zone and got ground balls.
Just where do you think his ceiling could be if he's able to use that cutter as effectively as he has and integrate the curveball?
Man, he could be special. Everybody knows the sinker and the sweeper, but the changeup became a pitch for him last year. the breaking ball that he's working on, and you add that cutter. There's so much movement on his pitches. There's live, there's sink, there's cut. I mean, there's a lot there that, again, it starts with him attacking, getting strike one, and then he can work off that. Yeah, I mean, this guy is special. Keep adding to his arsenal, and man, it could be special.
What have you seen from Christian Pache in center? Just overall, how has he been?
He's been solid, especially offensively. This is a guy that is an elite defender. We've seen that throughout the year, especially when he was coming up through the minors. But offensively, they at bat quality. He's hitting the ball hard. He's staying up the middle. We've seen him run the bases. There's a lot of tools there. Hard worker, but I think it's just good to see him having results and having good at bats early on in camp.
And I know you had Senga throw the live in the backfields. What's his next step?
He's scheduled to pitch. His next outing will be on our game.
Okay.
So yeah, that's probably towards Saturday. I don't know. I gotta check. Yes. Yes.
I think Christian Scott was throwing a bullpen today, or was scheduled to throw a bullpen today. I just Christian, where is he in terms of his ramp up?
Yeah, I think he threw a live VP yesterday.
VP.
Yes, he threw 2 innings yesterday. So, same. Continue with his progression, but he's feeling really good too. Some velos there.
Do you feel like he might be healthy enough to be on some sort of roster opening day, whether it be AAA or here?
I gotta check. So, but he's continuing to progress accordingly.